So these are great woodworking gifts and stocking stuffers for that great person in your life that does woodworking for their birthday, for Christmas, and these can be bought, most of them, in time for Christmas. So if you're that last minute Christmas shopper, these are perfect. So starting on our left side over here are these fantastic utility knives. These are great to have because Lord knows I buy more stuff that comes in boxes than most people would know what to do with. These are great for box cutting, but they can also be great for other things around the shop, for opening varnishes, for opening multiple other things, and even packages like these that they come in, they're great for opening those too. So you can get these at Home Depot, both of them actually at Home Depot. The Milwaukee set for 3 of them for about right around $20, and the Husky one right around $8. And you can still pick those up at Home Depot right now. Next on our list is the Japanese pool saw. You can get these on Amazon for pretty cheap, for relatively inexpensive, for right around $15, and still probably get them here in time for Christmas based on Amazon. And these are great for cutting dowels, for cutting small corners, for cutting off any splines you put in frames or boxes or anything like that. Now, my personal favorite tape measure that I probably ever used or found is the Fast Cap tape measure, because it has writings on both sides. It has a left and right side, so no matter which way you pull it, the numbers are always facing you, which is always a definite plus, because sometimes you're not always pulling from the same side. These are about $7 or $8 on Amazon. You can, like I said, you can still order them and get them in time for Christmas. These make great stocking stuffers because I have 2 or 3 in my shop and I never know where one is. And so those are great to have. More than, you can never have enough of those. All right. Moving forward with our marking and measuring, our squares. These are great because when they have ledges on them, you can put them on boards. You can measure just about anything you need to have a square for. You can put them against your saw. If you don't have a track saw or anything like that, you can use them to cut square lines on those cross cuts with your circular saw. This one from Milwaukee has been great for me. Never had an issue with it being square or anything like that. It's always been true. And these are about $13-14 at Home Depot right now. These came in a 2-pack when I bought them, but I'm not sure they still have the 2-pack, but I know they still have the 1-packs at Home Depot. Now, a machinist square is a great addition to have in any shop, because this is about as true as you can get to a dead 90 degrees, accurate to within 1/1000th of an inch of that 90-degree angle. And so when you take cutting boards like this, you always want to make sure that your corners are as square as you can get them. And you can see that we're about as true as you could get on that. So especially if you're cutting boards, or really anything that's used to square things up, like at your table saw or your miter saw or any other saw that you need square cuts at. Now, combo squares. You pretty much, these are almost a necessity in any woodworking shop. These particular ones are from Harbor Freight. If you don't have a Harbor Freight, or you don't want to go to a Harbor Freight in your area, they sell these at Home Depot for the Empire brand, about $12 to $17, kind of depending on what the size is. So if you jump up to a 16-inch that I have over on my other wall, it's about $17, but the smaller 6-inch one is going to be about $12 at Home Depot. At Harbor Freight, they're a little bit cheaper than that, so it just kind of depends on what you want to do. Now, we also have Rockler bench cookies. These things are fantastic for throwing on the bench for when you're sanding something. So we'll take the cutting board. If I want to put that down onto something so it doesn't move while I'm sanding it, those are perfect for that, or anything else for that matter. It doesn't have to be cutting boards. That's just the example I like to use. But these are great because you can take other attachments that they have and you can screw them into this and lift the workpiece up even a little farther off the bench if you needed to, or lift it off of these cookies and onto a pedestal if you're putting some finish on to a piece or something like that. Now, some of y'all are going to laugh at me for including this, but this is an invaluable part of my shop, and I know it should be an invaluable part of every other shop, is chalk. Now, chalk is about 99 cents at pretty much any store you can find it at. Walmart, Target, whatever you have in your town. Chalk is an invaluable part, because when I plane boards through and I'm trying to flatten everything out and get it milled up, this is what helps me know where my high and low spots are. Color the whole thing with chalk, and then you run it through your planer or your jointer or whatever you're using, and then it shows you where all of your high and low spots are being taken out. So if you need a quick gift that you may already have in your house, chalk is perfect because it's cheap, and I go through this stuff like it's candy. So definitely pick some of that up if you have that person. Now, business cards. This is more geared towards somebody who is running their own business, like we are. However, even if they're not running their own business per se, it's still good to have a business card that maybe has their name and their email, and maybe if they have a Facebook or Instagram, putting that QR code on there like we have. You can see that with our website on there and our logo. But like I said, if they're not running their own business, that's okay. They can still use business cards to kind of get their name out there if they want to sell some projects, but they're not ready to run their own business. So keep that in mind. Vistaprint does a lot of great deals throughout the year, 30, 40, even 50% off sometimes. So you can even catch the deals where it's 100 for about 15 or 18 bucks. All right, and that includes shipping as well. So if you have a woodworker in your life that does a lot of work with templates, double-sided tape is their best friend, I promise you. I do a lot of template work with whiskey flight trays and charcuterie boards and things like that, and I'm telling you, double-sided tape is absolutely my best friend when it comes to those. It allows me to stick things down without having to use clamps and getting in the way and having to move them all the time or anything like that. I can put this on the back of the template, stick it to the piece, and then move on and get it routed and get rolling with my next project. So if you need something pretty cheap, these come in a 3-pack on Amazon for about $15 to $17, kind of depending on when you get them. But still under $20, absolutely an invaluable part of any wood shop. All right, now these little sanding blocks. This thing has helped me more than I could probably tell you, because it allows me to get into very small spaces and comes with a whole bunch of different grits and a whole bunch of different pieces of sandpaper. All right, these little things, I can get into very tight corners, very small spaces, and still be able and have a nice handhold here to be able to grab onto and get plenty of leverage on that sanding piece that I need or want to. All right, so I think this thing is about $7 or $8 on Amazon. So pick this up. You won't regret it. Your person in your life that does woodworking won't regret it, and they'll love you for it. All right. Next thing on the list is our glue bot. Now, this gets some mixed reviews sometimes, but I love mine because what it allows me to do is be able to glue vertically. So if I want to glue something that's standing up a little bit more vertical, I can push all of the glue up and out of the tip and still get a nice solid glue line. But it also is refillable and all of that kind of stuff. And I personally have never had a problem with it gumming up or anything like that, as long as this little red cap stays on and I just peel the little bit of glue that maybe gets stuck on the end right here. But this thing is great. Completely allows me to be able to buy gallons of glue versus buying it in the bottle that's, a little bit more expensive over time. All right. Now, every woodworker's Achilles heel is sanding for any project. If you find somebody who likes sanding, they're either lying or they might be a little bit crazy. All right. But it's a necessary part of every project. And sandpaper, like the 3M extract, is, I would venture to say, the best sandpaper on the market currently. This stuff is absolutely amazing. I've not found a better sandpaper than this at removing material in a hurry. And anytime I can cut my sanding down by even a few minutes or 30 minutes, an hour, I'm gonna take it. So this stuff is great. It costs about $8 to $10 for a 10-pack. Like I have here, you can get these on KM Tools and Tay Tools. The 10 packs on Amazon, you get the 50-pack. It is a little bit more expensive though. It's about 30 to 35 bucks for the 50-pack. But on KM Tools or Tay Tools, you can get the 10-pack. And it's about $8 to $10. All right. Now, last thing on my list is something that no woodworker can have enough of, and that is clamps. And these Bessie clamps are pretty much as good as you can get for the price. The Bessie clamps are absolutely fantastic. I just picked these up at Home Depot yesterday. They had a pack of two 12-inch and two 6-inch clamps for, I believe, right at $19. So still under $20 for two 12-inch, two 6-inch clamps. And I actually picked up two of them because they were such a good deal. But these are an invaluable part of any shop, I promise you. These are great for pretty much any application. I use them a lot when I'm doing cutting boards and I need to keep the board flat against my pipe clamps. I can stick a 6-inch clamp on there, tighten it down, and it keeps it nice and flat against the pipe clamps and doesn't allow it to get a huge twist in the board or anything like that. So those are all of my essential tools for under $20 for any woodworking shop. If you need a last minute Christmas gift, if you need a last minute birthday gift, or even if you just want to get that person something to say, hey, I was thinking about you, this is a great option. They're inexpensive and there's stuff you can get pretty much any time and it's still going to be under $20. All right, so coming up in the next video, we hope to do a build video on an end grain cutting board when your scraps aren't quite long enough to make a normal end grain cutting board. So stay tuned for that.